If you wonder why some Ankhs have two legs and some Ankhs only have one, then this video is for you. I've been getting this question a lot, so I thought I'll make a video about it. So in case you're new to my channel, I am Linda. Once upon a time, I had an energy healing. I received an energy healing with an Ankh like this one, and it removed a huge block of my chest. And that's when I realized like what the Ankh was capable of doing. And I knew I have to learn how to work with this. So that's when my Ankh journey began. I learned to work with the Ankh. I got certified as an Ankh healer. I did many trainings with the Ankh. I developed my own way of working with it. And I now give a lot of healings with the Ankh as well. So on my channel, I talk a lot about this because it helped me a lot. And I believe it can help you too. So most people, when they see an Ankh, they recognize it from ancient Egyptian art. And the difference with the two-legged Ankh compared to the one-legged Ankh is that this Ankh is said to be older than that. So the two-legged Ankh is also known as the Atlantean Ankh or the Atlantis cross because it's said that it originated from Atlantis. And after the fall of Atlantis, it was brought to Egypt, to prehistoric Egypt, and then later into ancient Egypt, as we know a lot more about because so much of the art has been preserved, but the original Ankh, as far as we know, has two legs. And there's a good reason for that, because the two-legged Ankh is used for energy healing in contact with the human body in a different way than the one-legged Ankh can be used. And that's what makes it different. So when I talk about energy healing, what I mean is the process of locating and clearing energetic blocks from our system. We all store pain, trauma in our body in the form of energy. And that's why a lot of our ailments and pains, they all have an emotional core. And what energy healing does, it goes to the core of the issue, the emotion where it's stored in the body. And by sending life force energy, it can remove the blockage from your system. And removing that block will improve your energy flow and will help you overall feel lighter, happier, and more healthy. So that's why energy healing is a really great way to support your well-being. If you really want to heal yourself from the inside out, then energy healing is a really great tool to do that, a really great way to do that. It takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes some patience, but it's really, really, really beautiful, and it's helped me a lot. So I'm convinced it can help you as well. So the reason that this Ankh has two legs instead of one is that the frequency, the vibration of the Ankh is different. When you do an energy healing on the human body, you can use this Ankh. You can also use an Ankh with one leg, but when you feel the difference, and you can feel that when, for example, you take an Ankh like this or another one, you point it at the body, you move it, you can feel that an Ankh with two legs, the energy is a lot more movable. I mean, if that's the right word for it. So for example, if you would use a one-legged Ankh on the human body and you would point the Ankh toward the body, the energy is kind of stagnant or static that comes out of the Ankh. It's not really moving a lot. And when you use this one, you will feel that it creates some kind of a movement. And for that reason, it can create movement, and it can loosen the blockage, and it can kind of free it from that. So for example, if you're familiar with Reiki, it's the most commonly known form of energy healing, I would say. It's where you send energy through your hands to the person receiving the healing. And when it's administered through the hands, the energy flows through the hands. And when healer uses the Ankh, the energy flows through the Ankh. What's different about using the Ankh compared to your hands is that the Ankh amplifies the energy. So sometimes I sometimes still use Reiki because I feel that it's the right thing in the moment. But also often I use the Ankh because sometimes I feel that the Ankh can pierce through an energetic block that the hands, for example, cannot, or they take more time. And it's of course an intuitive thing. So over time, when you practice this, you will become better at it, you will become more attuned to it. And when you give an energy healing with an Ankh like this, it does not mean you only use the legs of the Ankh, you also use the loop. The Ankh will always indicate what's required in the moment. So the more you become attuned, the more you will just know what to do in the moment and what's the right thing. It's an intuitive connection, like I mentioned before. So sometimes it means you use the loop to locate a block. Sometimes the Ankh just wants to stay in front of that place just with the loop, and that's enough. Sometimes you can release the energy through holding the loop against the block and releasing the energy through the legs. Sometimes you will notice that you will need to move the Ankh around, and then you move the Ankh, the legs, to where the blockage is, and you will feel that the energy can start to move and can be released eventually. So that's part of learning to work with the Ankh. Something might be interesting to add. So if you work with a one-legged Ankh, you can also use it for your own energy healing, etc. I know that there are stories of people using it on the body as well, but it's really But what the Ankh does, the energy the Ankh exudes can be very strong and it can be maybe even a bit much. But with this kind of Ankh, that cannot be the case because the Ankh discharges itself. So in some scenarios, if someone subconsciously, of course, feels that the energy of the Ankh is too much in that moment, then the Ankh will stay cold. I've seen it maybe twice because often the people that come to me for a healing with an Ankh, they are already open to it and they feel a call toward it. That's why they're there. So they are in some way already attuned to the energy and they will be able to receive the energy and subconsciously allow it to clear the blocks. But in case that's not the case for someone, it might be harder to allow it on a soul level. And then it can happen that the Ankh will show you. So that's what I mean to say is that it's always safe to use the Ankh. It can never be too much. If you work with the Ankh yourself, because we always start working with it for our own healing, of course, then you will notice that the more you connect with the Ankh, the more you will work with it, the more you will start to attune to it in some way, and the more you will start to feel the connection with the Ankh, the more you will start to feel it strengthening the energy. Well, anyway, that is my experience. So you will become more attuned to when it switches on, when it's turned off, when it wants to guide you where. You work with the Ankh, the way it works, the way you connect to it always depends on your own dedication to the process as well, and the extent to which you're able to open yourself up to the unseen energies, your psychic abilities, which is also, by the way, what the Ankh can help you develop. So that's also what the two-legged Ankh is really great for. It's a very tangible way to develop your clairsentience and your other clairs as well. So for example, if you want to work with an Ankh, you can of course also visualize an Ankh. You still connect to the energy of the Ankh. So if you're familiar with energy healing or meditation, then you will know that. But if you want to develop your clairsentience and your other clairs, and I think having a physical Ankh is really great because it can really help you connect to it in a more tangible way, as the Ankh is a bridge between the physical realm and the spiritual realm. So it just amplifies that process. Sometimes I feel there's a misunderstanding that when you do energy healing, you're always sending your own energy, but it's actually not. It's actually channeled life force energy that flows through you. So a healer, an energy healer, is always a bridge between the spiritual realm and between the physical realm. And the Ankh is an accelerator of that. Basically, you're just amplifying the power or the force of that bridge that you become. And because of the way the two-legged Ankh can discharge the energy, it's a very safe way of working with this. I hope that clarifies it. I hope that answers your question. And if you have any other questions, then please let me know in the comments. If you want to learn to work with the Ankh yourself, I'm in the process of creating an online course. I also have a free Ankh introduction guide that you can download if you're interested to know more. And I see you in the next video.